meets that thing called life. Hope you're having yourself a great morning this morning here, and always happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And we are inside of the Café Kubal studios. Appreciate Café Kubal and all they do with us here in our community, and on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York, as well as inside of their double-decker cafe that you'll find on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. And you'll also find them on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. You make sure that you hang out and show some love for Café Kubal in any of these awesome locations. So a big time thank you to Café Kubal and all that they do here in our community. So much love to them. And if you're outside of the community, you can go to cafekubal.com and get your coffee and all of your special favorites from them right there. So make sure you fill your cup up right and do good out there in the community by supporting local and supporting Central New York. And, some of us have the right cups here. This one says hustle, because that's what we do here. And this comes from my little brother, Miguel. So thank you, Miguel, for my hustle mug. Much appreciation. I can fill that cup with whatever I would like. And Café Kubal, love the chai. That's my thing. The chais, the teas. Just got a tea from Café Kubal yesterday. Got a mint tea. And very good. Had a nice little aftertaste, too. A little sweetness to it. So thank you to Café Kubal for that, as this is my, allergy-laden season. So much appreciation to Café Kubal for the help. We are here on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all /WakeUpCallDT to keep it easy for you. And we're also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage, and you can go to Facebook.com and another place, Facebook.com /LiveNowDT, to listen and watch from anywhere in the world. So anywhere you are, we thank you so much. Even the aliens that might be hovering our planet. That's how the last 3 years have felt, folks. We see UFOs and people are like, whatever. But it's crazy. But yeah, so even the aliens that are hovering, what up, aliens? I come in peace. Please be nice to me. And if you're up there hanging out, I hope you enjoy the show. So with that being said, inside of my and PozPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we got a lot of great stuff set up for you today. We have the honor and the opportunity to bring you the annoying moment of the week every single Friday right around 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So that's going to start off the show, presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we're going to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, ad-lib, and deliver, presented by the wonderful people at Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And then from there, we are going to jump into the top dog of the week, presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. And we'll continue our Bobcat Buzz exclusive specials with the Bobcats women's soccer team, with a one-on-one conversation for the first time ever with Jessica Shepard, followed by Haley Elsey. You heard from their teammates from Brazil and St. Kitts. Now you have an opportunity to hear from two players that are right here in Central New York. Jessica coming to us from Bridgeport, and Haley coming to us from Camillus. So very excited, and Haley returns to the sport of soccer. So very much looking forward to having them both on the show today, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So jam-packed show, a lot to get into, and we're going to give you two of each of those signature segments. And what I mean by that is we're going to give you two scoops of the annoying moment of the week. We're going to give you two topics in Lead, Learn, Evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. And we're going to give you two top dogs of the week, presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. And we're doing that because last week, we were down at Hooters, and we were giving you Hooters Week. And that Hooters Week live from iDrive, we were with Nate Trout. So I want to make sure that we give you exactly what we promised. And because we had a special week of shows, we moved our annoying moment of the week, our lead, and our top dogs. So you're going to get two of those this week instead of one. And we're going to get things started with the annoying moment of the week right away here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So the annoying moment of the week, here with us. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Sometimes I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. And the annoying moment of the week is now here for us to allow me the opportunity to see exactly what I want to say today in the moment. So with that being said, let's give you the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I'm really honest. I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week is upon us, and my annoying moments of the week, since I'm bringing you two this week, and we've done this before, we give you a couple scoops. Sometimes we gave you 3 scoops. I think one show I might have given you 4 scoops. So the annoying moment of the week for this week, my first one is the people that have conversations that don't finish them. Because I want to paint a picture for you of what that conversation would look like if you had it in person, which is kind of ridiculous. But, somebody who has a conversation with you and doesn't finish the conversation, right? They started on a text message, right? Hey, what's up? And they reach out to you. This is what makes it even more ironic and crazy. Hey, what's up? Not too much. How are you? 25 minutes later, good. What's up? You just said that. How are you? I'm good. What are you up to today? What's going on? And then you tell them, and then they sit there, and then 3 days later, they're like, yo, man, what's up? You good? Yeah. What is going on? How are you? What's happening? Did you want to get together? Why did you reach out to me? See, I don't do things without a purpose, right? You have to do things with a purpose. And if I'm doing things without a purpose, if that happens, then I say to myself, wow, I shouldn't be doing this because there's no purpose to this. There's nothing that I'm getting from this. That is positive, that is moving me in the right direction, so I probably shouldn't do it. That's reality here. Why reach out to me? Hey, what's up? Dead silence. How you doing? Dead silence. What have you been up to? Why did you reach out to me? And I say that all the time. I'm always like, why did these people reach out to me if they have nothing to say? You reached out to me. You came to me. You wanted to know how I was doing. And then you went totally radio silent. And I don't understand why. So, that's the thing. If I reach out to you, I have a purpose. I have a reason. I have something that has led me to reaching out to you, to seeing how you're doing. That's why I do it, or else there's no reason for it. So I don't understand the people that do it, and there is no purpose. It's like, hey, what's up? Total silence. Days go by, right? Days go by. And I've talked to you all about this before, and you know how I feel about dating apps. You know my stance on dating apps. They're garbage. They're trash. I've only met crazy people on them. Now, I know there's a 1 in a billion chance that it's going to work out, right? My my buddy got married, wonderful woman, and that worked out. But that was a little bit, that was Match, okay? That was Match. That wasn't Bumble and Tinder and Lucinder and Ginder and whatever's out there. But and I'm making those, they'll probably be out in a day. But you know what I mean? There's stuff I stay away from. And I don't like, it was funny, my dad was having a conversation with me last night. He's like, stay off the dating sites. He's like, just stay off the dating sites. It's not a good place to go. And I'm like, Dad, I don't like them. I genuinely don't. But I said, how do you meet people today, right? Because when you're out in public, people look pissed off. They look like you're bothering them. It's like they got to go somewhere. They got to be there right now. And you don't want, and see, the thing is, I'm a gentleman. So I'm not going to, I don't feel right going up to somebody in a grocery store and being like, hey, the melons look ripe today, don't they? Yours too. You know what I mean? That's not me. Some people are like, I'm going to use that pickup line. Dan, thanks. I thought about it in the moment, folks. There was no preemptive strike on that one. That just came to my brain. But, I think about that. I think about, how do you meet people today? Right? If it's a friend, see, the easiest way to meet somebody if it's a friend of a friend, because then you go over to the house, you go there for Saturday, you have lunch, you cook out, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna bring my friend Stacy over, right? And then you meet, and then you know the people, you sit with them, they know the people, you talk to Stacy, easy icebreaker, it's good to go. But on the internet, like I said, my buddy met his wife on Match. That's the only thing I can say. I know people that got married off of apps and it didn't work out. I know people that dated off of it. Now, there is another person I know that's dating someone off an app right now, and it seems to be going good. So I'm happy for them. Like, I think that's great. But I have met people that are insane. They all had some type of insanity, some type of crazy quirk that you're like, this doesn't happen in normal human being life. And you look at that and you say to yourself, how? How did you get this far, hurting people like that and doing crazy stuff like that? So conversations that go nowhere, that has a lot to do with the apps, right? You match with somebody on an app and you talk for about 5 seconds and then you don't talk anymore. And you're sitting there going, okay, why did this conversation end? It started with, hi, how are you? And it was good. And then it was, how are you? Or someone that you talk to for hours, right? You talk to for hours and they disappear. See, but my thing is I call it out. If I feel like I need to, I'll call it out. So I actually wrote to somebody, the last person where we had like the conversation and it was going and then it wasn't going. I literally wrote to them. I said, yo, in order for conversations to work, 2 people actually have to be involved. I mean, I could talk to myself, but I did put that out there because that's one of my annoying moments of the week when somebody like starts a conversation and then just leaves it there. Because picture if you did that in real life. Picture if the person was sitting in a room with you, like it's just you and them in a room and you're like, hi. And they're like, hi. And you're like, hey, what's going on? Not too much. How are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good. And then you just stared at each other for 47 minutes. And then somebody snapped out of it and said, what are you doing for dinner? And then the other person slept on the floor and then woke up and said, oh man, sorry, I didn't respond to your message. What are you up to? And then you have the same conversation every day, right? And the people that text instead of call, listen, I understand when you're at work and this, that, whatever, but things get lost in text messages. You gotta call, And when people don't call, I feel like they're hiding from something. I think it's kind of ridiculous. Greg said yikes. I don't know what Greg is. I don't know what you're saying yikes about, Greg. I said a lot of things. Tell me why you're yikesing me today. Happy Friday, DT. Week 1 of college football started off with a bang with some great games last night. Dennis with a great play down the stretch in the backyard brawl. That's right. Servassier Dennis, Syracuse alum, my hometown. CBA alum, my school. Penn State with a gritty win over the Boilermakers, pumped for the upcoming football season. Yeah, and Purdue put it on Penn State all the way till the bitter end. So that's going to be interesting to see Syracuse play Purdue this upcoming season. For those of you that think like, oh, this was going to be a cakewalk. It's not Penn State. It's not Michigan. It's Purdue. Well, Purdue beat Michigan State last year, mind you, and they almost got Penn State. So you got to be definitely watching that for sure. But yeah, so Greg, tell me why you're yikesing me. Want to know what the yikes was. But no, the conversations that start and then they just abruptly end. You wouldn't do that like if I had somebody sitting in the studio when we were doing an interview and I said, hey Bob, how you doing today? And he said, good, Dan, how are you? And I said, great. Why don't you talk to us about, let's get into your childhood. Oh yeah, Dan, my childhood, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that's great. And from your childhood, what did you learn from it? Oh, from what I learned from it was da-da-da-da-da. And how did that involve in the game you play? And Bob just went. And then we didn't continue the show until 3 days later. You guys would think that we were out of our mind because we would be. So, so that's where I am with that. Okay, that's my first annoying moment of the week. The conversations that abruptly stop for no reason. By the way, I'm off of dating apps. Not on them. I'm not going back on them. So that's done. I never liked them. I never wanted them. And I've only met people that are out of their freaking mind. Oh, Greg likes my pickup line. Hi. How are those melons? That's you just go up to them, Hey, well, don't do this. Don't. I only make pickup lines as a joke. I've never used a pickup line. Well, I think maybe I created one that was like more charismatic. It wasn't like, ridiculous. But I don't, outside of maybe that one time that maybe I said so, I've never used a pickup line because, unless I'm joking, I've only used pickup lines when I'm dating someone that already knows me and I'll do it as a joke. And I feel like once I meet the right person, I'd like to do things with her where like we kind of just pretend like we don't know each other in certain places and we just have fun with it and we see how people react. to it, but you got to be with someone who really knows you and loves you, and that you're confident in that relationship to be able to play back and forth, right? Because some people get butt hurt over nothing. But no, the pickup line that I created today out of nowhere was, going up to somebody at the grocery store and saying those melons look ripe, and you touch the melons and you go, so do yours, but then you don't touch. And, and I don't do that. But it's, you know what I mean? I was making that as a joke. Because how do you go up to somebody? See, if I see somebody that's beautiful in Wegmans, I don't go up to her. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I feel like 10 people already have, and I feel like she just wants to get her groceries and go home. And I feel like in today's world, so many people think that so many people only want one thing, or they're bad people, or whatever, that, they don't think that a nice guy could come up to you in a grocery store and be like, hey, how are you today? And I've tried that before. I've walked Lily, and I've seen someone who's pretty and they're walking their dog, and I've turned to look at them and just say like, hi. And then the girl like looks at the ground, she looks off. I'm like, dude, no one's attacking you, no one's bothering you. It's just a person saying, hello, how are you? It's okay. And in certain states I go to, that's what people do. If you're down in Florida, if you say hi to a girl down in Florida, she'll probably say hi. Right? I mean, I worked at Hooters, and everybody, stares at those girls all day. They're absolutely beautiful. And please treat them like human beings, because there's many sweet girls that work there and that have so many great things to share if you actually ask them about their personality and the things that they like, which we do when we do our Hooters featurettes from Hooters I Drive in Orlando on 8801 International Drive. Go down there and say hello to the girls and see what's up. They're nice people. And yeah, I just go, and that's the thing. And some people, Dan, these are the most beautiful girls I've ever seen. And some of them are extremely gorgeous, right? And I go up to them, hi, how you doing? How you doing? How's your day? What's going on? And they've actually been nicer to me than the people that I didn't think were, that I wasn't maybe attracted to, that were just mean, or somebody, just walking their dog. I don't understand that, right? You say hello, you see how people are doing, you be a nice person, right? And in today's day and age, it's like, I don't know, I just feel like it's hard to have a conversation with somebody, right? And then what I don't understand is how many women that have a wedding ring on have flirted with me in public. And they can call it whatever, I'm just being nice. No, you're not. Some have done it right in front of their husband, and I literally look at them talking to me and look at their husband and look back at them, and I sit there in silence like, how is this normal life? You know what I mean? So I don't get that either. It's hard enough to find somebody in today's world, and then you got people that are wearing rings flirting with you, and I think that that's inappropriate beyond. If you're married, you made a decision. If you don't like that decision, then don't be married anymore. But, a ring means something to me. And I've learned in 2 instances in my life that it means absolutely nothing to other people. Absolutely nothing. So, Greg says Lily has got to be a great wing pup in meeting the ladies. You would think so, Greg? You would think so. But I don't know if it's God's humor, but, I'm like walking Lily, and like 2 guys would stop me and they'd be like, what kind of dog is that? I'm like, I'm not interested, thank you. but it's, you never know. And Lily should be a good wing pup, right? She's fantastic. But there's a lot of people out there that are out of their minds, or they think that they're like too hot for TV. I don't know what it is, but I don't, I've never thought that, I like the way I look. I like I like my personality. Like, I love myself. I do. I love myself. Took a long time to get there. People that are on their journey to get there, I'm with you. Okay? We're going to get there. We're going to do it together. Okay? Because we're not always nice to ourselves, right? And we're not always kind. We don't always say nice things. But what you say is what you eventually believe about yourself. So how you treat yourself is eventually what you become, right? So your self-talk is what eventually your life becomes. And I want to, cautionary telltale people here, you got to be good to yourself. You got to talk to yourself nicely. And, so I love me. And I'm good, and I'm better to me than I used to be by a million miles. So, I feel like I'm a rare person, right? I don't think you can go around, you can't like scuffle around the dumpster and find any of me. So, but that's the thing. I had one friend, she's like, oh, I'd love to set you up with this girl that I know. I used to work with her. She's great. She's like, I don't want to get involved though. Like if it happens, like I want you to do it. And I was like, yeah, but every time I see this girl, she thinks it's like her poo-poo doesn't stink, right? And it's just the way that they are. And it could be that they're nervous. It could be that they're shy. It could be a million things. But when you've been through as many things as I've been through, when you see somebody kind of just keep it moving, you're like, I don't really want to say hello to you, And, I always say to God, like, can somebody just give you an opening? Women make it so difficult. You don't know if they like you, if they hate you, if they were looking at you, if they look at the guy behind you, the guy in front of you. I mean, and it's so hard for men still in society. And I think this is super sexist. We talk about equality. Well, if we want equality, then women should come up to men. If we want equality, then women should talk to men. If we want equality, then you should have to be in the very uncomfortable, awkward state of going up to a total stranger and saying hello and not knowing if you're going to get a pie in the face, a smile, or a boyfriend's going to show up and tell you to back off. You know what I mean? So it's so hard for a man to do it, and it's still hard for a man to do it. It's like one of the things in the equality conversation that women don't touch, which is men still have to do everything when it comes to dating. We still have to come up to you and do all these things and make it extremely easy, and you just have to sit there. Or the women that'll tell you, I let guys buy me drinks all night, and I've never done this because I don't believe in this, buying drinks for a stranger, because, they can just walk away and be like, whatever. But it's the reality. I mean, there's some girls that'll say, a guy buys me a drink, and I just say thank you, and I drink. There's girls that will go to the club, go to a bar, they have a boyfriend, and they'll let somebody buy them drinks all night because they just don't want to pay for them. And so there's something very sexist about that. And I'm going to be real about it. It is sexist. It's hard for us men. We don't know. When we come up to you, we don't know if you're a psychopath, if you're normal. We don't know if you have a boyfriend, if you don't. We don't know if you took your wedding ring off in the bathroom. We have no idea. And the same thing for women to men, but the difference is you don't usually come up to the men, so you don't have to put yourself in that awkward situation. So, everybody can lie, but men are the ones that typically have to do all the work, especially in that initial, and it's hard, And so it's like, how do you start a conversation with a total stranger? And people say, well, Dan, you talk for a living. You've talked to all types of people everywhere in the world. I mean, it should be easy for you. But it's that initial, like, you don't want to bother somebody. What are their hang-ups? And the thing is, I've been around so many people that haven't been kind when it comes to dating, that it makes you go, do I really want to walk up to somebody and put myself in a situation again, right? Because it's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. And so, I know in my world, I'm like, hey, God, can somebody just come up to me and we'll call it a day? But that may not happen. And conversations, I don't like to carry them. I went on a date with this one girl, and she barely spoke. So I kept talking. And then I would pause and then be like, okay, maybe now she'll talk. And then I just kept talking. And I'm sitting here going like, this is ridiculous. I feel like I'm doing the whole conversation. And then she goes, I don't think we're going to go on another date. You talk too much. I was like, I told her, I said, I only talked to the extent that I did because you didn't say anything. And I didn't know if we should just sit there in silence because that's not normal life to me. So I was like, you realize that I asked you questions. And I was like, if you didn't talk, why do I know so much about? I knew like this woman's life story, but she claimed she didn't say anything. But there were these lull points. And I'm not talking like a little casual silence. I'm talking like why are we sitting here? Because that's the thing. Don't waste my time, right? Don't waste my time. And I'm all about bringing people together, making people smile, giving people something to laugh about, something to feel good about, bring God into their life, positivity. That's what I am. So when somebody's like a stick in the mud, see, now I'll just walk away. I'll just walk away. I know in a meeting with a business if I don't want to work with them. And in my brain, I'm like, I can't wait for this meeting to be over because I have no desire to be here. And I'm that way with dating now too, where, you know, it's like, if you give me and then you do this, I told one girl, I said, I don't play games. And she's like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, you know, kind of like you have to play, you know, well, you know, you got to give and take and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not chasing you. I'm not chasing you. And I do, I just stop, you know, and some women are like, oh, wow, you know, I thought he would. No, I don't do that. I'll reach out to you a little bit and then that's it. You know, I'm not the type of person to have a silent conversation of somebody going, come to me, come to me, come to me. And no, we don't do that here. I'm not a slave and you are not my slave holder. So, you know, awkward silence and dead air is much worse. It is. Greg, you're absolutely right. You know, and that's the thing. I went on the date with that girl and oh my Lord, you know, you couldn't pull anything out of her. You'd ask her a question, she'd give you a one-word answer. And you're sitting here going like, why are we on this date? Can I go home now? You know? And the thing is, in today, being around, you know, society today, with people being nervous and scared and this and that, and all this political polarizing BS. I mean, there's people that put on their dating profiles, if you didn't vote for Trump, don't date me. And there's other people like, I'm a liberal. If you like anything about Trump, I'll never date you. And I'm sitting here going, and then you go on the dating app and they ask you about your political leanings. And they ask you if you voted. And they ask you if you believe in conspiracy theories. And I'm going, wait a second, this is not a dating app. This is the government. And, you know, I'm kind of floored by the fact that we've allowed these things to go on, right? And to me, it's insanity. So get off the dating apps, okay? Don't deal with people that give you silence. And please don't ever think if somebody ghosts you and they don't talk to you that you're not good enough. You know, some people are just really bad at communication and some people are just really crappy. I mean, that's just how it is. I find it very difficult to just be like, oh, I'm going to disappear. You know what I mean? Like, you don't feel good about it and you don't feel nice about it, and it's not kind. My second annoying moment of the week, since that first one went to a place, my second annoying moment of the week, it made me kind of just forget my second annoying moment, but my two scoops in the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. You know, I would have to say people that feel entitled. You know, people that have an air about them that they're better than you. I would definitely say that that's an annoying moment of the week, really, at any time. I don't talk to those people. I don't. If I get a sense of that from somebody, I am out of the conversation. I'll just walk away. You know, entitled people. People that, like, want you to do all these things to prove that you're worthy. You know, you're worthy. You know, this isn't Thor. I'm not trying to pick up Mjolnir. And by the way, I don't think any of those people could pick up Mjolnir the way that they treat people. I think I got a better chance than you do. And, you know, it's just the people that think that they have this higher up echelon. I feel like sometimes when you're talking to people from Hunger Games, where like you're the one tending the field and they're the one that is sitting in the Capitol watching you all kill each other to try and, you know, make it out of your district or whatever it is. And that's how it feels sometimes. And I tell people all the time, Hunger Games feels real sometimes, and every time it does, it's very unsettling. But, you know, that's probably my annoying moment of the week, the entitled people. The people that think you owe them something, that they're better than you, that they need something, that they're higher than you, that they're in a different status than you are. I mean, to me, that's ridiculous. And I've dealt with that in all different walks of life. I went to school with a lot of that, not at Marywood. And, I mean, there were some people, but Marywood had a very welcoming atmosphere. It's different than other places that I had witnessed. And, you know, I've never been about that. You know, and I can't be. I mean, I'm a blue-collar kid. My parents make good money because they work their butts off. I make good money because I work my butt off. You know, I don't ask mommy and daddy to take care of Lily for me. Like, if I'm out of town and I ask my parents to watch her, that's one thing. But I'm not like, oh, you know, I'm out drinking. I mean, that's the thing. And I said that before to people I've dated. I was like, what would you do if I was like your typical 20, 30-year-old, right? If I was your like typical, I get drunk at the bar, I can't find my way home, I wake up, hovering over the toilet. I mean, I remember when I was married to somebody who was an alcoholic, and I said to myself, what would you do if I decided to drink? Like, how would this world function? Lily wouldn't have her food. She wouldn't have her water. You'd be outside sleeping on top of the grill. And, I would be inside hugging the refrigerator thinking that it was you. You know what I mean? And what type of life would we be living at that point? And what type of life would Lily be living? But it's true. There's some of us that are responsible, and people take advantage of that responsibility, right? And people think they have an heir to them. Like, being married to that person, she thought that she was above me, right? He's always going to take care of me no matter what I do. I spend a ton of money, he's going to bail me out. I get drunk, he's going to help me find my way home. And you get to a point where you're going, what if I decided to be irresponsible? Would you take care of me? No, because you're not responsible. And you learn so much from moments like that where you really just say to people, what would you do if I decided to be just like you? And I showed you who you are. You would go nuts. You would go nuts. You wouldn't be able to function if I ended up just like you. And that's true. And that's reality, folks. That's reality. And you have to really take a gander at that because it's real life. We sometimes get away with murder because we know that someone's going to clean it up, right? We know somebody's going to put on the latex gloves and they're going to get the Clorox out and they're going to wipe those blood stains away. And that's something that a lot of people get away with. And you don't realize it until you realize it. When somebody says you're not there for me, I'll never forget my ex-wife said, she goes, you don't do anything for me. And I was like, you wouldn't have gotten here in the last 7.5 years if I didn't. I mean, there were times where I literally had to bring you home and help you home. And, you look at moments like that. By the way, please get rid of my last name. I don't know why you still have it. If anybody meets her, she is not a relative. We are not related. She is not a long-lost cousin. She's just a person that doesn't go to get her name changed because she's afraid of going to City Hall because, in her words, not mine, she thought something bad was going to happen to her when she went to City Hall to get her name changed. Like she was going to get arrested or something. I was like, do you have warrants out? So, I don't understand that either. But, I mean, as long as you have my name, I guess you can enjoy the positives that my family has worked to bring to Tortora. So, you're welcome for that. But it was on loan, and that loan needs to be paid now. So, I mean, I think I'm really just letting it all hang out on the annoying moment of the week today. But it's real, People do things. What the reality is, the annoying moment of the week, how many scoops we do. Just be good to other people. Just be kind to other people. And understand that everybody has been through something, right? Somebody may have never lost a loved one yet, right? You might have not, their parents are alive, their grandparents are alive, siblings are alive, right? But maybe they went through a really bad breakup. Maybe they, something happened to them as a kid that has never left them. Maybe they got bit by a dog, right? And then on the other hand, maybe somebody's lost a bunch of loved ones and they've passed away, right? Maybe somebody's family's into drugs. Maybe somebody's family isn't. Everybody's gone through something. And how dare us think that our something is better than your something or more important than your something? Nobody is your lackey. Nobody is your sidekick. Nobody is, your Smee and your Captain Hook. Nobody's your Smee, okay? Because eventually Smee resents you. And then Captain Hook's got to sleep with both eyes open. And I think that we really just need to understand there are good people out there. And some of us are trying to talk to you. Some of us are trying to say hello. And some of us are trying to be nice. And you're pushing us away because of everything else you've been through. And it's disrespectful and it's wrong. And if you keep pushing away good people, then you're going to have whatever's left. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. I don't want to be jaded. I don't want to push away good people. But it seems so hard sometimes in today's day and age to just be nice and have somebody appreciate that without taking advantage of it. So let's work on it. We'll take a step aside from the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. And we'll be back after this fast break inside of the Cafe Kubal studios with two topics today for Lead, Learn, Evolve, ad-lib, and deliver right after this.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports truly meets that thing called life. Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, as well as inside of their double-decker cafe on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners, right by the Syracuse Hancock International Airport with their drive-through location. Make sure you head out there today, let them know the Wake Up Call sent you, and fill your cup up right by supporting Central New York and supporting local. With that being said, we're in our second portion of our Friday broadcast inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. By the way, go and see Mon Paz. They have closed their store temporarily because all of their staff is at the fair. They have 3 locations at the fair, plus Spud Shack. So if you're going by 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool wondering why they're closed, it's because they're out at the fair. Go and see them at the fair. It's Labor Day weekend. If you haven't been out there, get your booty out there. I'm going out there this weekend, and I'm excited. So maybe I'll bump into you. Come over, say hi. And, say hi, and then when I say hi, and then don't just stand there in silence, because that would, show that you didn't learn anything from the show from a couple minutes ago. So I definitely look forward to seeing you out at the fair. And inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', Lead, Learn, Evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. That's the acronym. And I created it December 2019. I say we, God and I created it in December 2019, right before the pandemic. Didn't know the pandemic was coming. Made the segment, and then here we are, and it was perfect timing. So, as God always does, there are no coincidences. I call them God incidences. So, Lead, Learn, Evolve, ad-lib, and deliver, coming to you live here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And so we have 2 topics today. The first topic we're going to tackle is called comedy therapy. So, Dan, what is comedy therapy? Well, it is what it sounds like. It is using comedy to be therapeutic. Using comedy to help you with your life. So, comedy therapy. I mean, I did it last night, right? I go home, and I was having a good night, but, there's a couple things on my mind, some things that were still bugging me. So I turned on Netflix. I like Jim Gaffigan. I've seen him. He's one of the comedians I've seen on my bucket list. I've seen many of them. Shout out to Jim Gaffigan. Much love. And I saw Jim Gaffigan, and I just watched the Netflix before I went to sleep. I watched Jim Gaffigan's. I was doing some work. I was working on wake-up call stuff, and I thought, you know what? Why don't I just watch a little bit of Jim Gaffigan here? I like him. He had a new special that I haven't seen. So I said, I'd rather watch that than watch one I've seen a bunch of times. So I turned it on. I gave it a shot, and it was fun. Comedy therapy, right? Laughing. People tell you laughter is the best medicine. Folks, I'm 36 years old. I'm going to be 37 next month. I can honestly tell you there's no better medicine than laughter. I mean, love, but love has to do with laughter, right? Because there's that goodness and that positivity. Laughter, to me, is a tremendous medicine. I would choose laughter over Robitussin. Listen, I like all these medications and stuff that are helpful when you don't feel good. But to me, laughter's better than Advil. It's better than Tylenol. There's something about it that frees your soul, and it makes you feel better all around. You could be sicker than a dog, but if you start laughing, right, you feel better in that moment. You could be depressed, but if you're laughing, you feel better in that moment. You could be anxious, but in that moment that you laugh, you feel better. It's just a really good medicine. Comedy therapy. What do I mean by that? If you're depressed, if you're down, if you're sad, get around somebody. Get around somebody and spend some time with them that's positive and good. Somebody that you know that you can trust and you can be around. Get around them, right? Somebody that you know you can lean on in a bad day, good day, in between day. Any of that. Get around good people. When you're having a bad day, pray. Do something nice for yourself. Sometimes all I have to do is go to Cafe Cubal and get a chai for myself. Now pumpkin is back. Spoiler alert, I was going to put it on my social media today, and I will, but those of you that listen live, you always get first dibs. That's why you listen live, Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 a.m. And we're on youtube.com, facebook.com, and mixlr.com, all /wakeupcalldt, wakeupcalldt.com, and on facebook.com /livenowdt. That's why you're here with us, because you get first dibs to all of it. But that's something, right? You do something nice for yourself. It's so simple. But I go get myself a pumpkin spice chai at Cafe Cubal, and I'm happier than a clam. I go get breakfast with a friend, and I'm happy, right? I work with Monster and Rain, and their staff is really sweet and very nice. So I go see Nicole or anybody that's out there, and they're always super nice to me. They smile, and they're always, how's your day? And that's a good thing, right? Sometimes I drive through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, literally, just not even for the food, just for the kindness, for the reminder that there's good people out there. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to go to Chick-fil-A just to be around nice people. So you got to do these things, right? Comedy therapy. Be around people that make you smile and make you laugh. You may not have that girlfriend or that boyfriend. Your best friend and you might be on the outs. Whatever might have happened. But somebody in your life that not use them, just spend time with them, right? Be around them. People will tell me when I'm not myself that they like being around me, but I'm not me. You know what I mean? Like when I'm not laughing and I'm joking, they're like, oh, we missed you. Like we had you, but we missed you. Because the Dan that they know is laughing and joking and having a good time. If I'm silent for 10 minutes, people are like, what happened? Is there a comet coming? Are we all going to die? Dan, I had somebody tell me you haven't laughed or spoken in 15 minutes, so what's wrong? Because I like to laugh. I like to bring people together. I like to smile. If I'm not doing it, then yeah, there usually is something that's wrong. So comedy therapy, I believe in it because I try to give it. I love seeing people laugh because I don't know what type of day they're having. I don't know what's happened to them. Some people I do, some people I don't. Some people are total strangers. Some people, you're watching and listening to the show in Central and Upstate New York, in our second homes of Pennsylvania and Florida, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, in another country. Some of you, like the aliens, like I said, if they're picking us up. I don't know. I may never meet some of you that I interact with in the show. I might not even know that you're listening or watching. And I want to make you smile. I want you to laugh. Because I believe in comedy therapy. I believe in getting around people that help you by just being themselves. My friends aren't funny because they try to be funny. We're just funny. I don't try to be funny. Most of the stuff that comes out of my mouth is in the moment. And I'm always like, I got to write that down. Isaac and I hung out a couple days ago, and I was just like off the wall. I was just saying all the stuff I never, stuff that I have thought of, stuff I haven't thought of, but I'm like, man, I got to write this stuff down because we were just having a good night. But it was in the moment. It was in the conversation. It's what the night brought us. I love doing that. I love, standing on a stage and they open up the curtain and I'm like, all right, what am I going to talk about? Because I like to feel the atmosphere. It's what's on my mind in the moment. There's things that I never thought of before Isaac and I had the conversation. And then that joke just came into my mind at the time. And it came out of something that it was like I was frustrated about this. And then I thought about this. And I was like, well, what about this? And then it turned into a joke. And that's just how it goes. But comedy therapy, that's why I want to get on stage and do my stand-up comedy, because it's not because, oh, you love me, I need you to love me. No, it's I enjoy spreading cheer. I enjoy seeing people enjoy their lives. And I enjoyed Jim Gaffigan last night when I needed to just relax. And Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle, I am team Dave Chappelle, okay? Dave, yay. I have no qualms with Dave Chappelle. So, and Dan, he said this, that, whatever. Yeah, everybody's got an opinion like everybody's got a butthole, okay? It's true. Everybody does. And if Dave believes in something that you don't believe in, oh well. Do you know how many people believe in stuff that I don't believe in and I don't hate them? I believe that we're allowed to be who we are and live our lives as long as we don't hurt people, as long as we don't deliberately try to hurt people. But people that go to comedy shows, they get offended. Stop going. I mean, honestly, you're the person that's not going to laugh at anything because you're just a stick in the mud. Like, you're depressed. There's people that go to Syracuse games and scream at the players, and I'm like, you're not mad at the players. You're mad at your wife. Go home and deal with your problems. Because you know those people, right? You know the people that are, like, over the top angry, and you're like, why would you get this angry at a basketball game? Like, what is your problem? You get frustrated, but you don't, like, personally attack people. And I feel that way about people that go to comedy shows that heckle and like lose their minds, and then like they write how offended they are. It's like, bro, stop. Because if comedians started being politically correct, they wouldn't be funny anymore. And there's no such thing as politically correct because it changes like friggin' underwear daily. And how many politicians ever come correct? That's what I tell people all the time. When has politics ever been honest? So when we say politically correct, I'm like, nah. That's what we're going to use? That's the terminology we're going to use? Really? To trust politics? We are polarized as a society right now. We've lost our minds. And we need the comedy, right? We need the comedy. And so if you want your favorite comedian to come out and stop talking about this, there's going to be nothing to talk about. Because they can't talk about their exes. They can't talk about their ex-boyfriends. They can't talk about their ex-girlfriends. They can't talk about their mom. Can't talk about their dad because then they're offensive. It's like, they're not going to talk about anything. They're going to go out there and do what we did in the annoying moment of the week. They're going to say hi to you. You're going to say hi, and they're going to stare at you for an hour. That's not funny. That's weird. It's terrifying. You ever dated someone who stares at the wall for an hour? It's horrifying. It looks like the movie The Ring. And then you start thinking to yourself, no, this is worse because this is real and The Ring was fake. So maybe not in Japan. I don't know. I hope that that's not real to the Japanese people that made that movie. Please, God, no. I don't believe in that stuff, but that's a scary movie. That's all I'm going to say. But, comedy therapy, we need it. We need to laugh. We need to laugh. Chappelle is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. And he's real. He is real. People that like Eddie Murphy, Go back and watch his stuff. There's something that people can complain about. Kevin Hart, there's something people can complain about. Bernie Mac, there's something people can complain about. I mean, you go back and you watch comedians, there are things that people said over time that nobody cared about back then. And now because you care about it today, you want to go back and get rid of these people, cancel these people. You know, let me tell you something about cancel culture. The only people that run it are the people that don't have jobs and don't fight for their own dreams and are terrified of actually putting themselves out there. Because you have the time. If you have the time to scour 10 years of somebody's Twitter, you don't have a life. And you're not doing anything at your job. There's nobody in cancel culture that is an upstanding, reputable citizen at all. There's no one. There is nobody in cancel culture that's a good, genuine person. Because good people don't hurt people. Good people don't attack people. Only broken people. I said this to my ex every time she hurt me. I said, hurt people, hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people. Good people don't hurt people. I don't go around wanting to hurt people. I don't find any joy in that. So that whole culture of like, I want to get rid of everybody, that's because you don't feel good about yourself. So if you get rid of everybody that's actually chasing their dreams and doing something that's, you know, giving to society, if you take away all the givers to society and everybody looks like you, well, then you can feel better about the fact that you give absolutely nothing to society. So stay in your bunker and leave us alone. That's how I feel, right? There's a tiny, tiny percentage of the world that chases their dreams and puts themselves out there to the public. And then there's the public that says how they feel about those people that had the guts to try. So let's cancel culture. You know, people are afraid to go outside and do anything anymore. Well, what if I like watermelon and then cancel culture gets rid of it and there's a picture of me eating of it? Then are they going to get rid of me? It's like, stop acting like these are snipers. Okay? It's just people on keyboards that have nothing better to do with their lives because their lives are miserable. And miserable people like to make other people miserable. Somebody needs to turn around and look at culture and say, hey, to all you people that are doing bad things and saying bad things and trying to hurt people, you're hurt. I'm going to pray for you. Okay? I'm going to put my arm around you. I'm going to give you a hug. It's going to be like hugging a porcupine or a cactus, but I'm going to try. Right? There's nobody in this world that's doing bad to somebody else or in cancel culture that I believe doesn't need a hug. So ask for the hug instead of shooting your little porcupine spears at everybody. Nobody needs that. Nobody deserves it. Leave my man Chappelle alone. Comedy therapy. We need it. Right? We need it. Because there's a reason why people tell you laughter is the best medicine. Because it is. Because it can only help you. It doesn't hurt you. And too much of it is not a bad thing. Our second topic is to know your worth. And that plays off the first topic. And it plays off the annoying moment of the week where I said no one should act like they're more worthy than you. Knowing your worth, right? What does that mean, Dan? How do I know my worth? Is that like a number value? No. Is it like whether or not I'm a 5 or a 10 for people being attracted to me? No. Again, society trying to label. Your worth to God, it doesn't have a number. It doesn't have an end. Your worth is constantly growing. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly moving upward. Your growth is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. And you grow every day. You grow you should grow every single day. Know your worth. Know who you are. Know what you stand for. Because there is extreme truth in if you don't stand for something, you do fall for anything. There is extreme truth in that. You know, the funny thing about cliches, people, oh, that's cliche. Most cliches are true. I feel like people are afraid of cliches because they know when somebody says them to you that they're true. You know? I said a bunch of them in my last relationship. Hurt people hurt people. Right? That's a cliche, Dan. I've heard it a lot. People go after what they want. When you really want something, you'll do anything for it. You won't sit on your hands and wait for it to do it all for you. You know, you tell everybody you want to build a house, and then you sit on your hands and wait for somebody else to build it, and then you say you'll live in it someday, but you never will. People go after what they want. All right? I said that one a lot. There was a bunch of things that I said. If you want something, nothing will stop you. If you don't want something, everything will stop you. I was clear. And people say, well, this is cliche and that's cliche. And you know what? They are cliche. But they're true. They're true. Most cliches are true. And people struggle with that because you've outed them. You have found them in society and you've called them out. People don't like that. I find that people that don't like cliches are the people that know that that's the one that makes sense in their life. That's the thing that they're not doing. You know? Oh, that's so cliche. Yeah, and it's also true. It's also true. So know your worth. Don't put it in other people. Don't put your worth in other people. You can't. Because if somebody breaks up with you, then you think you're not worth anything. If somebody fires you, then you think you're not worth anything. If somebody stops being friends with you, then you think you're not worth anything. If you are no longer allowed to sit at that table in the cafeteria, then you think you're not worth anything. If you put your worth outside of your own self, outside of your own soul, then you are at the mercy of the world. And when they laugh at your jokes, you will feel on cloud nine. And when they don't, you'll want to kill yourself. You can't do that. You know? Why do we stop talking about suicide? Why do we stop talking about suicide prevention? Why don't we talk about it enough? We talk about, Suicide Prevention Day. Let's talk about it for a day. Why don't we talk about that? The people that have put their happiness outside of themselves and have lost all sense of who they are and are waiting for somebody to love them. It's so sad. People that are alcoholics are not happy. People that do drugs are not happy. I don't know anybody that does drugs that I've looked at and said, oh, that was a happy time in your life. That's when you were your best self. I know somebody that keeps going back to a certain drug. Keeps going back. I've known them for over 10 years. And they, in certain places in their life, they look like they just have never learned their lesson. They just keep going back to it, and they just haven't learned their lesson. And they treat people the same way they treated them over a decade ago. Good people. You have to know your worth, right? You can't put your worth in alcohol. It's never going to give it to you. You can't put it in physical, romantical stuff. It's not going to give it to you. Temporary highs, right, that we seek in relationships, that we seek in money, that we seek in goods, that we seek in alcohol, that we seek in drugs. Temporary highs are temporary highs. You get high and then you go back low again. The only way to actually live a good and fruitful, positive life is to put the work in. It's the only way to do it. You got to put the work in. You got to love yourself sober. You got to love yourself single. You got to love yourself alone. You got to love yourself every day. You got to love yourself when you don't get that job, when you get broken up with, when somebody lies to you, when somebody cheats on you, when somebody hurts you. You have to know your worth. Because Dan Tortora's worth is not connected to. My worth is not, and I'm not trying to speak to myself in the third person, I'm just trying to give you a name as an example. My worth is not tethered to if someone breaks up with me, if somebody cheats on me, if somebody lies to me, if somebody fires me, if somebody doesn't talk to me, that's my worth isn't tethered to that. My worth is tethered to me. My worth is tethered to God's relationship with me. Because you will get broken up with, even when it's not your fault. You will have people ghost you. You will have people lie to you. You will have people steal from you. You will have people do you dirty. You will have people cheat on you. You will have people ignore you. You will have people let you down. You will have people not be by their word. You will have people do everything under the sun that you couldn't even imagine. People will do things to you. And if you don't know your worth, you will go up and down with how you're treated. Oh, well, I got the job I wanted. I'm dating the girl I wanted. Everything's going well. I got enough money to pay my bills. I'm a 10. Oh, well, I don't have as much money as I wanted. She cheated on me, and my boss and I are on the outs. I'm a 5. No, you're still a 10. You're still a 10. But that's when you check yourself. Did I do something to make her leave? Did I do something to affect my relationship with my boss? Did I do something to affect my money? Am I spending my money? Do I have less money now because I'm making the same but I'm spending more? Am I spending more because gas went up, or am I spending more because I'm buying things I don't need? Right? You have to check yourself. My dad told me a long time ago, no one can be blatantly honest with themselves, and it's one of the things I disagree with my dad the most. I am blatantly honest with myself. I do look in the mirror, and I do hold myself accountable for everything that I do that I don't think is right. And I stick up for myself when somebody tells me that what is right is wrong. If you don't know your worth, you are doomed to be connected with however the world treats you. Think about, if you don't know your worth, think about if you were the sand on a beach and you determine your worth by the water. The water rushes in and gives itself to you, but it always recedes and runs away. So if you were the sand saying the water determines how worthy I am, then by a few seconds a day, every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year, you would feel great and feel horrible within seconds. Think about yourself like a grain of sand. If the water rushes in, it makes you feel good, and when it recedes, it makes you feel bad. You're going through a plethora of emotions, up and down and up and down and up and down by the second. By the second. Well, today, the water came up 2 feet. And yesterday, it only came up 2 inches. It must have not have loved me yesterday. No. You have to love yourself. And this is another cliche thing that I said to the last person I dated, and it rang true. Hence why she treated me the way she did. She said, I love you. I said, but you don't love yourself. She said, well, I can love you without loving myself. I said, no, you can't. She said, I can love you even if I don't like myself that much. I said, no, you can't. And ultimately, the way she treated me was the opposite of love. It was borderline hate. It was ruthless. And she didn't treat herself good, and eventually that crept in. You can't love anything else in your life if you don't love yourself. You can't love your dog. You can't love your cat. You could think you do. But if you don't love you, if you don't know your worth and your value, then you don't have peace, and you don't have health and wellness. If you don't love you, nobody can get in there. If you don't love you, nobody can get in there. So you have to know your worth. Because people will try to love you and you will hurt them because you don't love yourself. People will try to help you and you will hurt them because you don't love yourself. And I'm not saying that stuff hasn't happened to you that has affected you loving yourself. I'm saying, how long will you let it affect you? Are you willing to turn away every gift that God gives you? Every person that comes your way. Lily is the sweetest thing in the world. I got Lily when I was married. The way that my ex-wife treated Lily, she picked her up and put her down like everything else in her life. She could commit to something for a little while, and then she couldn't anymore. She did it with me. She did it with her job. She did it with Lily. What somebody does in one sector of their life, don't ever look at that person and go, well, it's only in that sector. No, and eventually it'll get into yours. It's like a virus. It's like a disease. If somebody is a certain way in one sector of their life, that will carry over positively and negatively. If somebody's a happy person and they're struggling at their job, but they're a happy person, they'll eventually find a way to be positive, be happy. But if somebody can't commit to a job, I promise you they will not commit to you. And they will not commit to the kids, and they won't commit to the dogs and to the cats. And that's reality. People, when someone shows who they are in one portion of their life, please stop thinking that's a different person. Okay? If someone shows you who they are in one out of the 10, if they split their life up into 10 pieces, and they show you who they are in piece 1, and you're like, well, thank God I'm in piece 10, they'll never get to me. Oh, they'll get to you. And conversely, if somebody is good in piece 1, then you're going to be all right in piece 10. We're not all perfect. But we have to stop pretending that if we don't have it all together in one portion of our life, and we're just not that we don't have it all together, because we're all a work in progress. That's not the right way to put it. Let me put it a different way. If we are an abomination in one part of our life, if we are chaotic and negative and bad, we have to stop saying, well, but that's just there, right? That's just there. If you're around a friend, a family member, a significant other that doesn't take care of themselves, that will eventually blow up in your face. The closer you get to someone who doesn't take care of themselves, they will lash out at you. Because they don't take care of themselves. If they don't care about their own self-worth, they don't care about yours. Right? It's like standing next to a fire and trying to hug it. Well, Dan, should we not help people that are in need? No, we should. But I'm not telling you to get burned. I tried to help a friend over the last couple months who's going through a lot, but he kept attacking me. I tried to help him, he attacked me. I tried to help him, he attacked me. I tried to help him, he attacked me. I didn't talk to him for a few days. Talked to him again, he attacked me. He attacked me, he attacked me. Gave it a week, he attacked me. And then I stopped. And after everything he said to me, he would text me, I need a friend. And I wrote back to him, please stop ending your sentences with that after you treat me like absolute garbage, the opposite of a friend, and I'm here trying to be your friend, and then you tell me that you need one. You don't need a friend. You need a punching bag, and I don't want to be that for you. And if this is how you treated other people in your life that you're having problems with right now, you need to check that. Because I don't know what's going on in your life completely. But I do know how you're treating me. And I try to be very cognizant of when I'm upset about something, not bringing that into another place. Right? And I have not always done well with that. I would like to think I'm better than not, but sometimes, we need to do better. We can always do better. And that doesn't mean don't appreciate who you are, and that doesn't mean don't value your time. It means nobody's perfect. There's always a place where we can tend the field a little bit better. But if you don't know your worth, if that doesn't come from inside of you out, if your worth comes from material goods, what people say about you, what people do to you, what people think of you, money, accolades, you're never going to have enough. And you're always going to be let down. Because nobody receives an award 365 days of the year. Nobody does. Nobody does. Best comedian, best musician, best singer, best entertainer, best basketball player, football player, volleyball player, field hockey player. Nobody gets an award every day of the year. But you know what you can do every day of the year? Love yourself. Wake up in the morning. Thank God for waking you up. Be a good person. Take care of yourself. That's what you can do every day. You can give yourself an award every day by loving yourself. Hey, Dan, I love you. Just wanted you to know. Simple as that. Nobody gets an award every single day. Nobody does. So if you don't know your worth and you put it on what you get, even those that win a ton of awards are going to feel like they're not enough. So please start living in the moment and start living knowing that you don't need anybody or anything to tell you who you are. If you can't tell the world who you are, who can? Know your worth. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. We are going to come back with two top dogs of the week right here inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Right after this.
These unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Happy to be here with you where sports meets that thing called life. And so definitely appreciate you being here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. You're watching and listening on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all / Wake Up Call DT, as well as on Facebook.com / Live Now DT, and on wakeupcalldt.com. So very much appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So I want to definitely give a shout out to Cafe Kubal, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, as well as on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location in North Syracuse, and also want to mention 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. So big shout out to all our Cafe Kubals. If you're out of town, then go to cafekubal.com. That's cafe, Kubal.com, and show them some love by having them send something right to your doorstep. So much appreciation for Cafe Kubal as always. So a lot of great stuff here. It's time for the top dog of the week. Inside of MonPazPopcorn.com is what's popping. Giving you the annoying moment of the week presented by Carvel DeWitt. Lead presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And now it's time to bring you the top dog of the week by our fantastic people at K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9Campground.org. And it's 10:21. I always end up looking at the clock many times on my birthday, 10:21. That's another God moment for me. So big shout out to God on that on that big blessing today of seeing 1021 right at that time. So pretty cool. So big shout out to that and just letting God know I see it. So our top dogs of the week. Well, I want to honor first and foremost my priest at my church. My priest at my church is one of my top dogs of the week. I bumped into him when I was out and about and didn't obviously anticipate seeing him, and I was, getting some stuff done yesterday and doing my thing, and I had the opportunity to, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before. And so I was just out and about, just getting some stuff done, and I bumped into him, and I asked him if he had a minute, and he said, yeah. And he sat down with me, and he didn't give me a minute. He gave me like an hour, and I told him about some things that were on my mind, and he was there for me. He was helpful, didn't tell me everything I wanted to hear, supportive, kind, compassionate, and, to me, it helped me feel like I was sitting with God. And the irony of everything that happened, there was a lot there, and it was just like I needed to be around that at the time I was around it, and, God gave that to me. So my first top dog of the week is my priest, because he showed up at a time where I really needed it, and he gave time where he didn't have to. He wasn't in the church. It's not like I was sitting in a confessional. I wasn't sitting there at Mass. He didn't have to be there. And I think, good priests in today's world get a bad rap because of everything else that went on. And so I want to shout out the good priests that are out there that do their job and that love wholeheartedly. And, my priest has given me more time than I can count and has been so kind and generous that I can't thank him enough. And his conversation with me a couple days ago is part of the healing process and the letting go process and the knowing your worth process and not putting that on situations outside of yourself. So my first top dog of the week is my priest. So shout out to you. You know who you are. God bless you. As always. My second top dog of the week, I would have to say there's a lot of people, a lot of places I could go with this. You know, my second top dog of the week is going to be the gentleman that, big time Bills fan, supports me on social media, and I saw him at the bar yesterday. We did a show at Pizza Man Pub. Go back and watch it. It's on Facebook.com and YouTube.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. It's our show with Super Bowl champion and Syracuse offensive line alum John Flannery. We had a great show, and it exponentially has grown overnight. So big time thanks to everybody that's gone back and watched it. So we did it live for the people at Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, and we did it live for you on YouTube and Facebook. So, you know, afterward, I was going to go home. You know, I was going to go home, and I was kind of, you know, I was happy to go home and see Lily and watch She-Hulk episode 3, which I did. And so I had said, you know, okay, you know, I'm going to go home, I'm going to get my stuff to go, whatever. And I sat for a second, and bartender, very nice person, shout out to Jordan, go be nice to her at Pizza Man Pub. You know, support your bartenders and be nice to them, because she works really hard, and she was manning the entire dining room and the bar by herself yesterday, and she did a tremendous job. I don't think, if there was a hiccup, I didn't see one. So shout out to you, Jordan, and shout out to Heather and everybody out there at Pizza Man. So, because they do a great job, and they probably don't get thanked enough, I'm sure. So Jordan was like, do you want something to drink? And I was like, I don't know. And then there was a seat that opened up, and I said, well, you know, and I got my food to go. And then I said, well, you know, maybe I'll stick around for a little bit. And this guy comes out to my shows, or he'll just bump into me, and he's really, really supportive, huge Bills fan. And so yesterday they're like, oh, what do you want to drink? And those of you that know me, you know, I don't really drink. I've never been drunk. And so, you know, I get something sometimes, something that's sweet. So I got a Truly. I got strawberry tea. It was great. Barely tasted like alcohol. I drank maybe half of the can. And some people are like, Dan, I drink one of those cans in 5 minutes. Good for you. But I drank maybe half the can. And so Jordan gives it to me, and she goes, it's on him. And I looked at him, I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And he's pretty sure he's done that before. And I'm very confident that that's happened before. And he said, it's on me. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, no, thank you. He's like, no, don't worry about it. And again, you don't know the state that people are in when you're around them. Like, he didn't know what was going on in my life. Now, he had followed my social media, as, you know, I thank many people that have. And he had followed my social, you know, he follows my social media, and he said, are you riding solo today? And I said, yeah. And I kind of was thinking in my head, like, does he know that, you know, I was in a relationship, you know, a little while back? And he said, and then he said again, he goes, you know, so where is she? And I was like, oh, like, we're not together. We broke up. We're not together. And he's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, it's okay. And he's like, no, I'm sorry. And he said like 4 or 5 times, he's like, I'm really sorry. I feel really bad. Like, you know, I hope you're doing okay. I'm really sorry. Oh, man, you guys look so happy. I'm really sorry. And, you know, again, this is a guy who has seen me out at a couple events. We've talked sports a little bit. But, you know, he wasn't my friend prior to. We only know each other from me going out to Pizza Man and doing my shows, and him happening to be there, shaking hands, or him being there after the show, talking a little bit. He didn't have to buy me a drink. And I'm going to tell you something. When my food came, I stayed. And I ate my pizza there, and I watched the Pittsburgh, West Virginia game. And I ate my wings there, and I watched the Pittsburgh, West Virginia game. And there's a few reasons why I stuck around, and he was one of those reasons. And him saying over and over again, him saying once, I'm sorry for what happened to you. I'm sorry that happened to you. You know, you look so happy. And I said, yeah, well, you know, appearances may be deceiving. And, you know, because I went through a lot in these last few months that a lot of people didn't know about. And it was bad for me, 100%. And no matter how I try to make it better, it just continued to be bad for me. And so, but to have somebody buy you a drink that they don't have to do, and talk to you that they don't have to do, and tell you that they feel bad and tell you that they're sorry and they hope you're okay, that they don't have to do. He's a top dog, because to me that was an angel sent. You know? Bumping into my priest a couple days ago, feeling bad about the same situation, that was an angel sent. Sitting at the bar, that was an angel sent. You know? And having those moments and having those connections are beautiful, and you have to see them when you see them. You know? Because as soon as I saw my priest, I said hello to him, how you doing, this and that, whatever. We talked for a couple minutes. I was waiting for my food. Got my food, and I let him eat, and I went and I sat somewhere else. And then he was leaving, and then he stopped and, was kind of looking at me, and I was like, I wonder if he knows what went on with me. And I said, do you have a minute? And he said, yeah, of course. And he sat down with me, and it's funny, where he sat with me is where I sat the last time that I interacted with my ex-wife during the divorce process. And when we were trying to get it all settled up, and I was trying to be a human, and she was not, and I just wanted to get it over with. And I agreed to meet her, and we sat in the same spot. And I sat there on purpose to, go back to a wound and heal it. And then who sits on the other side of me? Not my ex-wife, my priest. And what did she do when she sat there? Treated me like I didn't matter. What did he do when I sat there? Treated me like I was a very important person. So you have to pay attention to the symbolism in your life. You have to pay attention to the God incidences, and you have to pay attention to when good things happen. We focus on the problem, but, this week I've had many people try to find a solution. My mom, my dad, guy at the bar, my priest. People that are there for you to help you move forward. And who are we if we don't get a little bit better every day, right? You don't want to be stagnant, because you can't get the days back. And I was in a relationship where somebody didn't care about the hourglass. Sometimes she shook it to try and make more sand come out of it, make it end quicker. And I can't get back the time that she took, but I can make sure she doesn't take any more time. I'm going to say that again to people. You can't get back the time that somebody took from you, but you can make sure they don't take any more. Right? Why should Monday's drama be Wednesday's drama? Why should Wednesday's pain be Friday morning's pain? I'm not saying you get over things in a half a second. But I'm saying if they've already hurt you in the past, why would you let them continue to hurt you? It's like saying somebody stabbed me 5 months ago, and I decided to stab myself this morning in memory of it. It's the hardest thing in the world sometimes to understand, but if you are not and my dad and my mom said this to me, and I tell this to people all the time, if you're not a bad person, and you're not a person who hurts people, and you're not a person who wishes ill on people, and you're not a person who is crazy or illogical or irrational, you're not going to understand those people. You're not going to understand somebody that can hurt you, and then walk away. You're not going to understand that. You're never going to understand the people that hurt you, and you're never going to understand the people that hurt you after you ask them to stop. You're never going to understand the people that walk away from you like you were the problem after they hurt you. You will never understand someone that terrorizes you unless you terrorize. You will never understand an abusive person unless you're abusive. You will never understand pain that people inflict on you unless you want to inflict pain on other people. In order to understand the enemy, you have to become them. And I wouldn't suggest it. I would suggest being yourself and chalking it up to, well, like my dad said, you got hurt over and over and over again, and the best thing that ever happened is that person walked away. You don't understand how somebody can walk away after hurting you, but thank God they did. Thank God that person who continuously beat up on my son walked away from my son. Because my son kept forgiving, and my son kept trying. And my son kept getting hurt. So the best thing that they did to you was ghost you, ignore you, and walk away. Because if they didn't, they'd still be hurting you. Sometimes the best prayers are the unanswered ones. Sometimes it's great when God says, no. No. So to everybody out there wondering, how do I know I matter? Well, you got to know your self-worth. To me, you got to have a faith in God. I don't know how you live without it. Not as a crutch, but as a, like, you just think you made yourself? And where do you think evolution started? Something had to start the beginning of the beginning. So I'm not saying we haven't evolved, but I'm saying, where do you think life came from in the first place? You think it just created itself and evolved on its own? That's insane. That would mean that our world and humanity were created by all happenstance mistakes that all seem to work out perfectly. No. So, no. There's a reason why dominoes fall the way they fall. So, and there's a reason why they don't when they don't. So, know your worth, know who you are. Shout out to my top dogs, my priest, and the gentleman at the bar. I cannot thank you both enough this week for stepping up with somebody that you're not blood related to, you're not necessarily even friends with, and that you don't maybe even know that well. And look at what you did. So, you both helped me in the healing process, and I can't thank you enough for it. Top dogs of the week. So, if you have a top dog of the week, please say thank you to them. Please say thank you to them. And say thank you in the moment. Don't wait to say thank you. I don't know why people think, like, oh, just, I wanted to tell them this, but I'll wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Unless you want to live life with regret, and I don't suggest that either. Top dogs of the week are always promoted here on the show. Every Friday. 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Head off to K9 Camp Dog Daycare. You can get more information by going to K-9 KAMP.com. That's K-9 KAMP.com. You can also call them at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110. And you can go and visit them on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street, right across from the BJ's. Go up the hill, make that first left. And the campground for longer-term care, dog boarding care, that every dog gets a cabin. Some dogs have TVs. Everyone has their own bed and their own food and their own water, so nobody takes from any. So they all have their own hotel room, essentially, at K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. And that's on 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, right around the corner from the daycare. You can call them at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. And you can go to their website, K9 KAMPground.com. That's K9Campground.com. K9 KAMPground.com. And with that being said, shout out to our top dogs, shout out to mine, shout out to yours. And if you've been one to someone, shout out to you. We'll take a step aside for a fast break, and we'll come back with two more exclusive Bobcat Buzz specials featuring the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats women's soccer team. And for the first time ever, Jessica Shepard, and for the first time ever, Haley Elsey. Both coming from upstate New York. Jessica from Bridgeport and Haley from Camillus, New York. All coming up right after this fast break where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com.
Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be, from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com.
We're here with Jessica Shepard in this edition of the Bobcat Buzz, featuring the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse women's soccer team that just came off a national championship in 2021 with the trophy right here, heading into the 2022 season. Jessica, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. So we've heard from some of your teammates from all over the world. You're from Bridgeport, New York.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to represent upstate New York on this team?
It's good. You get to show them around, like, how New York is, and then you get to learn about where they're from and all that stuff, so it's good.
What have you learned from being on a team that's so diverse in culture?
Oh, tons of things. There's so much to learn, and it's good learning it. It's so much fun.
What have you learned that's been your favorite thing?
My favorite thing? Probably the culture, the food.
I was going to say the food's pretty good.
Yeah, the food is definitely.
What's the best food that you've had and who made it?
The best food, I can't remember who made it, but I remember it was one of the, I think it might have been Gabby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Brazil's got some good food, yeah.
I think it was like rice and something. It was good.
So, are there cooks on the team? Or, I mean, Gabby cooks, but does...
Gabby cooks, but no, we just college food pretty much.
Just college food.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite place in upstate New York to eat?
Favorite place? I I do. It's called 916 in Brewerton. It's pretty good.
916 in Brewerton. What type of food?
It's like a tiki bar. It's like really good.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So being a part of this team and knowing that 2021 was not just a good season, but a great season with a national championship, how do you hold on to that great memory and then focus on 2022? How do you balance between being really happy with what happened, but also staying focused?
Just remembering that we won, but then keeping our head in the game and just realizing that we just have to keep moving forward game by game and just do what we did last year.
Best part of this team?
The best part of this team is the connection. We're all very close. Everyone's very friendly. We know how to talk to each other in a kind manner. Like, it's all respect.
Coach has had to fill in some spots from last year.
Mm-hmm.
How has the balance been between the team that was and the newcomers that are on the team?
The balance is good. The newcomers are good. They look up to us and they ask questions and we answer them, and it's all respect and we help them as much as we can.
What is it about soccer that you fell in love with, and when did you fall in love with the sport?
I think I fell in love with the sport when I was like, I want to say like 10. It was just like an escape. You run and there's nothing else that matters except for that ball and the goal.
When you said around 10, did you play other sports?
Yeah, I played basketball and stuff like that. Everything with a ball, pretty much.
So, with soccer, you said you can escape everything and you can just run and run. Do you find that still from 10 years old to now? Is it still an escape for you? Is it still a place for you to shut everything out and just...
It's definitely still a safe space, yes.
Is it the safest space, or do you have anything else that you like to go to?
I think that working out and playing soccer is probably my safest space.
How would you describe yourself? 3 words to describe you as a player.
Motivated,
Okay.
Resilient, and a good player and respectable player.
For Bryant Stratton, you're not that far away, like you said, about a half an hour away. How did you hear about Bryant Stratton, and how did you kind of create this? How did this opportunity create itself for you to be here?
Well, Alex has been coaching me since I was 13.
So you've had him for a long time.
It's been a long time. Yes.
So he's seen you grow.
He's seen me grow as a player, yes. And he's just like, come play, and I agreed.
Was there any other plan that you had, or when he said, I want you to come to Bryant Stratton, was that kind of your first thought of like, hey, I can play this in college?
I was thinking about just going to OCC and just playing, but no, I wasn't going to play soccer. I was just going to go to school. But I decided to come back and play. And
how did he get you to do it?
How did he get me to do it? We were at a family party, and he would always talk about it, like, come play, Jess, like, you're good, come play, blah, blah, blah. And then I went to a family party, and he said, ask me again. I said, okay, I'll come play.
So how many times did he have to ask you?
How many times, yeah. He's probably been asking me for 2 years.
2 years, okay. All right. So what finally did it? What broke that for you? Consistency?
Consistency, nagging,
okay.
Text messages.
Sometimes nagging works, you know, especially in business. When you want to get the job, you got to keep calling. So,
And then I just said yes, so here I am.
Hindsight 2020, you happy you said yes?
I'm very happy I said yes.
How would you describe Alex?
Alex, I wouldn't want anyone else coaching me. He's a great guy.
Why?
He wants what's best for everybody. Even him knowing me for 13 years, he never ever puts me like on a pedestal. He treats everyone the same.
13 years of knowing Alex Rigorita, the head coach here at Bryant Stratton for women's soccer. What have the 13 years taught you? What has he taught you?
Well, he's known me since I was 13.
Well, since you were 13, yeah, that's what you said, yeah. So knowing you since you were 13, what has it taught you?
He just has taught me to keep going, don't give up, and just play your best even if you fall.
What do you want to say to the fans, why they should come out?
Come out. It's a good team. It's diverse. You'll see a lot of running, a lot of action, and we're aggressive and we have a good time.
Jessica Shepard here from Bridgeport, New York. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in another edition of the Bobcat Buzz. Here we are featuring the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse women's soccer team that won a national championship in 2021 and is back here in 2022 to fight for yet another one. Haley Elsey is here with us from Camillus, New York, very far away. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so I've spent a lot of time in Camillus. I would love for you to tell me how you would describe Camillus, New York.
Camillus, New York, it's very small, I guess, but pretty family-oriented. You know, I grew up there and I played soccer there, and, you know, it's a good place to come back always and raise a family and be with family.
What can you say about having your family right around the corner?
They're my biggest support system. You know, I have all my family there, so I think that's the best part about being around and being able to play so close to home.
What did your parents think when you said, hey, I'm going to stay close and go to Bryant Stratton?
They were excited. They're excited to watch me play again.
What is it about Bryant Stratton here in Syracuse that just made sense for you?
Well, they just started their nursing program, so their nursing program and Coach Alex, too.
What is it about head coach Alex Gregorita that stuck out to you?
I've played for him before. I grew up playing with him, and, you know, he's just really energetic. He's outgoing, and probably one of the only coaches I would play for again.
And why is that?
He's just supportive, and he's goal-oriented, I think, and he always is not just looking at it as a team, he's looking at it as each individual player, and he really is super supportive as all of his team.
You said you played for him before. When was the first time you played for him?
In 2016, I think, in high school. Yeah, he was my club coach.
Okay, and is he similar or different now that he's your college coach?
He's similar. Yeah,
okay.
He's very much the same.
Okay. So having all this time with him, 6 years now, what have you learned from him in 6 years?
Just how to be a confident player. You know, he really has always trusted me and told me, you know, just kind of go out there and do what you do and have fun and play. I think that's the best part about him, is he just wants all of his players to be having a good time.
What is it about the game that made you fall in love? Like, when did you fall in love with soccer, and what did it for you?
Probably when I was in 6th or 7th grade. I just love the game. It's just who I am. I've always played, so.
You said you just love it. It's always been a part of you. Do you remember the first time that you touched the ball?
Yeah. I used to play right across the street from my house at a little park, and we, you know, the little kids, and I came back and I coached those kids, so it's really interesting to, you know, go back and look at those kids that you were coaching and be like, wow, that was me one day, you know.
So you coached kids and you're coached by Alex. Did you take anything from Coach Gregorita that you've used with the kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Just being energetic and always just having a good time and making sure that your players feel important and listened to.
This is totally not connected to what I just asked, but most of you have a nose ring. Is that a team thing, or is that an accident?
I came in with mine, so
okay.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was a happy accident or on purpose.
It might be a happy accident.
All right, fair enough. So being at Bryant Stratton, and like you said, the nursing program being here, how important is that education for you, and what has made you want to be a nurse?
Super important. I actually have another degree in speech pathology, and I just realized that nursing was kind of more my calling. And I was really excited when I found out Bryant Stratton had the nursing program, because there's programs around, but being able to have another one is awesome. And so I've heard good things about it too.
Why do you want to be a nurse?
I just like to help people. I really want to be a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So yeah, you know, I like helping people, and I just think it's a rewarding career.
Describe to someone who doesn't know what a psychiatric nurse practitioner is.
Basically, you can work on the psych wards, you can do like therapy, prescribe meds, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What's made you want to do that, something that specific?
I just think there's a really big need for it. We don't have a lot of resources, especially in Syracuse in the community. I think it would be great to be able to give back to my community and, you know, be a therapist or help out in that way. So
it sounds like you want to stick around here. Do you really love home? I mean, does Syracuse and Camillus have a special place for you?
Yeah, Syracuse and Camillus. I always said if I'm going to come back and raise a family, it'll be in Camillus. You know, I love Syracuse. I'm born and raised here, so.
What is so special about the community as a whole? I know you described Camillus in the beginning, but what makes you want to stay?
I just feel like there's a lot of opportunity here, and I am comfortable here, but there's a lot to do, and I've met so many people through Bryant Stratton and through, everything just growing up here.
So being here, representing the community, having that in your history, in your family, and on your jersey, when you go out there for Bryant and Stratton, what do you hold on your shoulders? Do you feel the weight of I'm home and these are my people?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm back playing in Syracuse, and it's exciting for me. So,
what is it about 2021 that made the team so special?
I wasn't here. This is my first.
How would you describe? What did the girls say to you about it?
They are all super close. They come in and everybody's at practice. Everybody's high-fiving. Everybody's giving somebody a pat on the back. This team is just close, and I think Alex has really made sure that all of the girls are comfortable with each other.
How many times did he have to ask you to play here?
Quite a few. Quite a few.
Okay. And you finally said yes because
he's the only coach I would play for again. He really is, and the girls just won their national championship last year, and to be a part of that would be huge.
And speaking with your teammates that were a part of this team last season, I asked them about the balance, but I'd love to hear from your point of view, being one of the newcomers. How do you feel the balance is on this team and the culture of those that were here and someone like yourself that's new to the team?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the girls that were on the team previously came in and they're picking everybody up. They're like, this is how it is. This is what we do. They're setting that, that kind of culture up for the team. And I think that it's kind of infectious almost. All of the girls have picked up on that, and practices have been really good so far. So,
3 words to describe you as a player.
That's tough. Probably energetic. I'm very attacking minded.
Okay.
And a go-getter.
Okay. And you spoke a lot about Alex Grigorita. How would you describe his personality to someone who's never met him?
He's happy, he's energetic, and he's super outgoing.
Awesome. Well, that coming from Haley Elsey here from Camillus, New York, as part of this Bobcat Buzz for Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse in this women's soccer special. Thank you, Haley.
Thank you.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond. You can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory delivery available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5, Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Syracuse, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5, Camillus.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Allergies be gone. Oh, sinuses, man. Not fun at all. Back here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Want to thank you for being a part of the show every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, as we are here with you on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com. All / Wake Up Call DT, as well as on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and on Facebook.com / LiveNowDT. And of course, you can search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeart, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube. So make sure you hang out with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in all of these wonderful channels. And thank you to all the beautiful companies that have given us the opportunity to share our story and to share the stories of so many. So search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, on any one of these outlets, and we'll be happy to talk with you then. Thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners and beyond: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Witty Wicks, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Avicoli's, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Millhouse Market, Honda City of Liverpool, Pizza Man, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Mother's Cupboard, and Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is proud to be the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It is Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and boy, do we have a special we got a lot coming up for you with Lemoyne this month. Very, very excited. We have a huge opportunity for you to hear from the president of Lemoyne, Dr. Linda Lemura, coming up here this coming week. So can't wait to share that with you. Every first and third Wednesday of each month, we have AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, we bring you the Dolphin Dive, diving into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, like Linda, as well as future Dolphins and alumni. So make sure you're hanging out with us. And there's a special message from Lemoyne that they have put out to the world, and I'll be sharing that on my social media. Very excited to share that with them and extending our partnership here into year number 2. So a big shout out to the Lemoyne College Dolphins. See all of our content by going to the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com, subscribing to youtube.com / wakeupcalldt. And for more information on your Dolphins, go to lemoynedolphins.com. The Marywood University Pacers are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. It is Pacer Pride, and you get to hear from them every single month. The Pacers typically here with us on Fridays, and always happy to have Pacer Pride hanging out, being able to tell the stories with student athletes, administration, and coaches. Your Pacers are on our Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com. They're also on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to youtube.com / wakeupcalldt. And for more information on the Pacers, go to marywoodpacers.com. As as you know, as you had our specials throughout this week, including today with the fantastic women's soccer team of Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. The Bobcats have joined us with the Bobcat Buzz every single month in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. The Bobcat Buzz bringing you student athletes, coaches, and administration. Always happy to be here with the Bobcats, and so happy to make history for the first time ever, having Jessica Shepard, Haley Elsey, as well as Gabby Cordero and Carrie Welsh, all on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can see our Bobcat Buzz specials already instantaneously available to you on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. All the ones from this week, including the two from today, are already up on YouTube, and they'll be added to facebook.com/livenowdt, or pardon me, that and facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. So you'll be able to watch them there as 4 individual videos: the special with Carrie, the special with Gabby, the special with Jessica, and the special with Haley. So make sure you go check those out on YouTube and Facebook, both.com/wakeupcalldt. The Bobcats are on the BSC SYR tab on wakeupcalldt.com. On our YouTube channel, subscribe to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And for more information on your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and make sure you head to the first game for the women's soccer team coming up this Tuesday to open up the 2022 season. They'll be at home at Jones Road Tuesday, September 6th at 3 p.m. With that being said, I want to thank you all for being with us on our social media. Find us on Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, Twitter at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. So we look forward to seeing you there. We appreciate you so much. Thanks to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week. 2 scoops of it. Thanks to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for the acronym of LEAD that they partner with us on. Learn, Evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is what it stands for. Talking to you today about comedy therapy and knowing your worth. Shout out to my top dogs of the week, my priest, and the gentleman that comes out to the shows at Pizza Man and got me a drink yesterday and said some very kind things. So a big shout out to the top dogs of the week wherever you are, including my top dogs of the week that we have had all the way throughout in our fantastic partnership with the wonderful people at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding of East Syracuse, the place to bring your dogs for short and long-term care. Thanks to Lorraine, to Chad, to Heather, and the entire team out there. And a big thanks to our Bobcats and to Jessica and Haley for joining me today and for our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. So, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Labor Day weekend. I'm going out to the fair. I hope you go out to the fair. Show some love. Head over to Mon Paws and Spud Shack and show some love to my fantastic partners, to Jim and Angela and the entire team over there. I say what's up, and I hope you all have a great weekend. I am going to be taking Labor Day off. I work way too hard to not be able to celebrate with y'all, so I'm going to be off on Monday. I'll be back with you on Tuesday. So Tuesday, September 6th, we'll start off our week here in September for next week. And so we'll be there with you on Tuesday, and we'll carry you all the way through. Awesome stuff coming up next week. Can't wait to share it with you. In the meantime, God bless, no stress, do your best. Happy Labor Day to all my workers out there that earn their money and work hard for their money. I'd play I work hard for the money, but Facebook gets butthurt when you play 5 seconds of any song thinking that you stole it from someone, even if you say it's not yours. So I won't play it, but just know that in the background of Wake Up Call is I work hard for the money. So for those of you that are working hard for your money, celebrate Labor Day. For those of you sitting at home getting a paycheck when you could go to work and you're just taking free money from the government, shame on you, and you should work on Labor Day. I'll talk with you all